I just wanted to come live and say a couple things, give a quick update, and first of all, thank everybody for all of the incredible love and support that I've received. I mean, it's helped me so much more than I thought. It felt weird even to go on to Facebook or on Instagram and to tell people that I have breast cancer. It felt weird, but at the same time, it was like, I'm tired of calling and telling people this is the way we need to do it. And I am just floored by how many people have sent me messages of love and support. And I'm really floored by how much I didn't even know I needed that. So first of all, thank you, thank you, thank you. Second of all, I just wanted to share a couple of thoughts and an update. So the way this all went down, actually, many of you probably don't know this, but my mother was actually diagnosed with breast cancer 3 times. So ever since I was young, I always have had this sense of knowing that I was at risk. And so when the first time she was diagnosed, I was only 15, and she was, I just remember her coming home with my dad and just them being sad and walking upstairs, and me, I think I was babysitting at the time because I was the oldest, and me just feeling like I didn't know what was going on, and I knew something was up, but I didn't know what it was. You know how that goes. And so it was this kind of odd experience, and I remember that so vividly, and I'll put that aside for a moment, but it made me really realize how for this experience, how I did or didn't want to handle it with my own kids. The other thing is, she got breast cancer. She was only 37. And so I've been getting mammograms since I was 27. And I've taken it seriously. I've been doing it every single year. And many of you know that last year I had to get my first biopsy. And that time I didn't go live. I went live from the waiting room while I was getting the biopsy the first time last year, because in my heart I knew it wasn't anything. And so I didn't feel like it would be a big deal if I had to share it with everybody. Like, I felt like it's not going to be anything anyway. And this time felt really different, just the way that they came in. And basically, I went for my mammogram, and then they took me to get an ultrasound, and then they were ultrasounding under my armpit, which, of course, in my head, I'm like, lymph nodes. And they're all very nice. But then, you know how people can be like suspiciously nice, like too nice? That's what happened. Right after the ultrasound, the doctor came in with 2 different nurses, and they were all really sweet. And the one nurse came over and was like patting me on the back while the doctor's telling me that we see something. And last time with your other biopsy, it looked more like a group of little cysts. And this time it doesn't look like that. It actually looks like a mass, and I'm concerned. And so when he says he's concerned, I'm like, okay, he's concerned. Let's take care of this. So even though all these years I've had all these mammograms and even ultrasounds and biopsies, and it's always come back negative, I really in that moment thought for sure, well, it's not going to be anything. But then the way that they were acting made me really start to freak out, because they were so nice to me. And they're like, well, let's get you in for biopsy. Can you come in today? Can you come in tomorrow? We really want to get this done. And then the nurse walked me out and helped me make my appointment and gave me her cell phone number, which is also nice, but you know what I mean. It just starts making you feel like, uh-oh, something is really not right. So this was very different than last time. So I didn't tell anybody. Whereas last time I'm going live from the actual waiting room. This time I'm keeping it to myself. And I was fine the first day. I had my biopsy yesterday afternoon. I woke up yesterday morning and was totally at peace. And I was doing I read scripture, and I exercise, read scripture, and pray, and write in my journal, and meditate every morning. And I really was doing this yesterday, as you can understand. And as I'm doing that, I just had this overwhelming sense of like peace and calm come over me, and just kind of reassure me that, yes, this is going to happen. And yes, you're ready for this. And yes, you're not alone. And all these moments that I had been thinking of throughout the year, where like for my Mastery of Motherhood Live, which honestly I was freaked out beyond belief about that. And it seemed like the scariest thing ever. And yet when it came down to it, I was able to go through that with complete peace. And that to me was a miracle, because I'm like an anxiety and stress ball usually. Those kind of miracles, and the other miracles that I've seen, I've been really talking and focusing a lot on miracles lately, that those were just preparing me for this bigger miracle. So I had this sense of peace and calm, and then got my biopsy, and then yesterday morning woke up to my daughter having a nightmare about me and my husband had died. And she couldn't wake up, and she kept trying to wake up, and we, every time she'd wake up in her dream, we were still dead. And she came bawling into my room in the morning and just was like, I just want to make sure you're okay. And I'm like, I'm okay. And then I'm sitting there hugging her and like, but am I really okay? I don't know, because I have this feeling that I'm really not okay, and I can't tell her yet. And so, and then, I'm trying to comfort her, and then she starts singing the song that I wrote for my dear friend Monet, who died last year of pancreatic cancer. And she was like, whenever I'm sad, I sing this song, and I love it. It's so beautiful. And it was beautiful to me. But all of a sudden, these words came back to my head, which is something that the doctor had said that I had totally forgotten about, which was a starburst pattern on the mammogram and the ultrasound. And I had forgotten about that. And so I immediately did exactly what I tell all my clients not to do when they are freaking out about something. I went on Google and started to search, and everything I saw was like, the best way to tell a malignancy is the starburst pattern, and starburst pattern often indicates invasive breast cancer, and I lost it. I mean, I just lost it. That sense of calm that I had had the day before, all of a sudden I'm completely like, can't speak, sobbing. And I don't even know for sure. I haven't even heard from my doctor for sure what's going on. I had just had the biopsy the day before, but it's like, I just knew. And it's not like I thought I'm going to die, but it's just, I don't know. It's like all this emotion in you. And so I'm actually literally hiding in my closet, calling my mom. She's not answering, trying a friend. She didn't answer, and calling my sister. Finally, I was able to talk to one of my sisters and calm myself down. And then my husband was able to come home from work and run interference because the kids still didn't know. And so today I'm thinking about what am I proud of that I've done so far? I don't like that word proud. So like, what lights me up? What makes me feel positive and good and happy? And one thing is how we handled it with the kids. Luckily, everybody was together because we were supposed to be going to a family reunion, and they had actually left, and I was staying because I was such a wreck. And I had to tell them, oh, I have a headache and I can't go. And I hate that. I hate not being totally honest, but I also knew it wasn't time to tell them because I didn't know for sure. And so as soon as they left, about 10 minutes later, I got the call from my doctor, and he told me, he said, I'm very sorry, but it is cancer. And I said, actually, I knew. I just kind of knew. And he's like, and it's blah, blah, blah kind. I'm like, oh, is that the IDC kind? And he's like, yes, invasive ductal carcinoma. I'm like, yep, that's what my mom had twice. And actually before that, when I had called my mom earlier and told her about the starburst pattern thing, she said, oh, you didn't tell me about that. She's like, that's what they told me when I had it. It was a starburst pattern, and it was invasive ductal carcinoma, which is one of the most common types of breast cancer. But my mom had it twice. And so here we are. And so I feel really good. I'm able to call the kids back. We were able to talk to them. And the one thing I feel really good about is just that I'm honest with them. And I know that they get scared, and some of them might see this. And you know what? I want them to have all the answers possible. And I know a lot of you out there go through difficult times, and you have hard things that it's hard to talk to your kids about. But the best thing you can do is to be honest in ways that they can understand, and also to make sure they know that it's okay for them to feel whatever they feel and to have whatever questions they have. And, and I was able to say to, like, my boys were being all tough about it, and I was able to say to my girls who are getting teary and feeling embarrassed that, you know what, I'm teary too. I'm like, fine 1 minute, and the next minute I'm a total wreck. And my mom said it the best way, because I was like, I don't even know what I'm feeling. I'm just like emotional. And I said, I don't think I'm going to die. I know I'll survive. I mean, it's not that, but it's just, and she said, you're grappling with your own mortality. And I was like, yeah, for the first time, I am grappling with my own mortality. And that's scary, and it's hard. And I realized while I'm doing that I have these other thoughts in my head that come that are kind of like, that have been beliefs for years, like that I'm not going to get breast cancer. There's been enough crap in my life that of course that's not going to happen to me, even though I'm at super high risk because of my mom's history. But honestly, I thought like that's probably going to happen to one of my sisters, but not to me. And also thinking like my kids can't handle another mother and a mother figure like being threatened with death or dying. So there's no way something like that could happen to me. That just happens to everybody around me. And I'm the one that's just supposed to like support everybody and be strong for them, because that's what I've been doing my whole life. Like everybody dies around me, right? And that's just what it is. But no, this is like me facing my own death and mortality. And I know so many of you out there have reached out already and have been through breast cancer, or have just been diagnosed, or are waiting on a mammogram, or even just are going through other types of things. You have a family member, everybody's touched with cancer. And it doesn't even have to be cancer. It can just be other scary things that are happening in your life. And I feel like this, to me, in very selfish ways, is like my therapy, because I can talk and it helps me to process. And none of this is scripted. Obviously, I don't know what I'm going to be feeling from day to day, and I'm certainly not going to be like this strong person. I'm just going to do what I need to do. And I'm already ready to make like a t-shirt. I got to have somebody help me design it that says there are a million ways to be strong, because yeah, you can be strong by lifting weights. You can be strong by telling someone off because of your kids. Like you need to tell someone to step down, step off, and leave my kid alone. You can be strong by crying. You can be strong by saying, I need help. I need someone to talk to. Like I was yesterday, just like, who do I call? I'm just completely freaking out. And it's vulnerability is strength, right? And admitting how we feel is strength, and admitting we're afraid is strength. So I guess if you want to watch a crazy woman show, as I'm like all over the place, this is the channel to watch. But I hope along the way, not only it will help me, but it'll also help somebody out there to know that you're not alone, and that, life happens no matter what. And those things we think in our head that it can't happen to me or it won't happen to me, it's just, unfortunately, it does. I don't mean to say that to be negative. I'm just trying to be real. Like, it does happen. And it's hard, and it's hard on our families. And I would make a plea, any of you out there that see this, that know my kids, that know my husband, to please, pray for them and reach out and support them, because I also know it's one of the hardest things to be the support person for the person going through it. And I actually had to tell my husband that today, that it's going to be harder for you than for me, and you're going to need your support team, because I'm going to be a wreck and you're going to have to be my rock. So thank you all for all your support. Tomorrow I actually have my first appointment with the surgeon, so I'm hoping to get some news on my treatment plan, and I'm going to be just kind of sharing stuff as I go. So sorry that was so long, but thank you for the love. Namaste, Austin. That's so beautiful. Thank you so much. All right, you guys, go have a good one. I'm going to go lie down and get to bed early.